I'm
Okay, you're welcome.
My name is Ogwena Chidimazita. Graduated last year. Biology option.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
My name is
Good evening.
Christopher Quinn, and I'm writing exam now. By next week Wednesday, I'll be a graduate.
Oh, by next week Wednesday, you become a graduate. Wonderful. Okay.
Yes, from biochemistry option.
Chemistry option. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mabel Adora, a final year student to be graduating in about 3 days' time. I'm a
Oh, wonderful.
microbiology option.
Wonderful. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is
Welcome.
Eduku. I graduated 2009 set, microbiology option.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hi.
Yes? Who again?
Good evening, sir. My name is Fedan Missy. I'm in HND1, microbiology option.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Next person.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Ejo Focalos, set of 2022, biology option.
Okay, you're welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's Dr. Onyema graduated from SLT Chemistry Option 2012. I'm currently the director in Alpha Research Lab, and I'm working with Teaching Hospital New. You are welcome.
Okay, you're welcome.
Welcome.
Good evening, all.
Hello.
My name is
Hi.
Timothy Nandi. I graduated 2021, working in Experience in Hospital, Onisha. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello, everybody.
My
Yes.
name is Agwaze Chiamaka.
I graduated 2010. Option.
Please, we can't hear you well.
Everybody. Hi.
Those people that
My name is
are,
Agwaze Chiamaka.
that are making noise, please off your microphone. If you're not introducing yourself, off your microphone, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Agwaze Chiamaka.
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
I, Ezos of Perpetual graduated 2010. Physics option.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Perpetual. Yes, the next person.
Hi, Agwaze Chiamaka Asanta. Graduated 2021. Working with Perfect Trust Cosmetics, Lagos. Thank you.
Wonderful. You're welcome.
Good evening, sir. My name
Good
is
evening.
Madaw. Graduated 2023, biochemistry option. Thank you.
You are welcome, Madago. You are welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica. I graduated last year from microbiology option.
Okay, you are welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name
evening.
is Mbade Martin Agorom. I graduated last year, biology option, still serving in Lagos State.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Bereka Miracle. I'm currently in HND1 now, biochemistry option.
I graduated many years ago.
Yes, HND one person, you are welcome. Who graduated many years ago? Has he introduced himself? Yes, more people introduce yourself.
I am okay, Emmanuel. I graduated. Yeah, hello.
Good evening.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
My name is Ejanobi Decenta. I graduated last year from microbiology option.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
My name is Agupe Chiwendo. I graduated 2010, microbiology option, so biology.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, more people.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nemeka Ijoma Anastasia. I graduated last year for microbiology / biochemistry option.
From microbiology. You are welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vera.
Good evening.
Hi, Nancy.
I graduated last year from biochemistry.
From biochemistry. You are welcome. You are welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. Speak up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mbedi
Hello, everyone.
I graduated last year.
I graduated in 2005.
Biology option.
Chemistry
Currently
by chemistry
working in
option. My name is Okay Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel, you are welcome. 2005. You are welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nwanko Chisom, currently in HND1, biology / microbiology.
Okay, you are welcome, Chisom. Yes, who again?
Hello, my name is Afek Kelitidera. Graduated last year biochemistry.
Biochemistry, you are welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Tokoyo University. I graduated last year from microbiology / biology option.
Okay, you are welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You are welcome.
My name is Gloria. Anna Gloria, popularly known as Glory. Microbiology option, HND1.
Okay, you are welcome. You are welcome. Who again? Okay, without taking much of our time, I think the introduction is okay for now. Now, if you look at the program, the outline of the program, after the introduction, the next thing that will come up will be we are supposed to begin with opening prayer, but we started with introduction. I think we need to pray before we start. And then after the prayer, I will introduce the first. I will introduce the first seminar presenter that will present the seminar for us. So now, anyone do the opening prayer for us. Anybody from HMD1, can you do the opening prayer for us?
In the name
Amen.
of Jesus. Heavenly Father, we thank you for a day like this. We worship your name. We are grateful unto you for the opportunity you gave to us to be alive in the land of the living. Not that we merit it nor deserve it, but because of your love, which is upon our lives, which is renewed every morning. Father, we say, be there exalted and magnified forever in the name of Jesus. Lord, we can't deny not being a sinner. We ask for your mercy. Have mercy upon us. Cleanse us. Father, as we are about to start this evening program, Lord, help us. All the resource person that you are going to use, empower them. Replenish them. Use them in a wonderful way. Also help us that at the end of this evening's seminar, we have a lot of reasons to glorify your name because you are good to us. Thank you, Abba Father, for you. We know you have done more than we have prayed. Through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
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 So, you are welcome. Please, I would like to beg everyone, if you are not talking, please off your mic. I don't want to hear people talking at the background. You are distracting others. Please off your mic as I want to welcome the first seminar speaker. He's one of us. He's an SLT graduate, and he's one of our national executive member. Currently, he's the national general secretary of Association of Science Laboratory Technology, and he's a staff of UNIZIK also, a very senior colleague at the institution. So, and I would like to use this opportunity to welcome him. He's a scientist. He's also a pastor. So, and he's here with us to tell us more about this our profession, SLT. He's also an SLT graduate, and his name is Dr. Ajawobi Innocent. Please, I would like you to speak to us, Doctor. You are welcome. Hello. Doc, are you there? It's like he's having some glitches.
Hello, good evening,
Hello,
everybody.
please, Doc, we are waiting for you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening, NGS.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, NGS. You're welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much. It's all right. So you can now mute your phone now. Mute your phone, mute yourself so that you can take the stage. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Yes, I want to especially appreciate Mr. Ben Modezie, the lead organizer, and the team working with him to set up this stage. You have done noble. God bless you. It's a step in the right direction for effective collaboration and networking. This is what we need even in the now, where people will be able to work together. So thank you so much for those efforts. So like he introduced, myself, I graduated 1997, chemistry, biochemistry option from Federal Polytechnic, Bida, Niger State. Today I have a PhD in biochemistry. I have a master's degree in biochemistry. I have a master's degree in medicinal chemistry and also food science. So I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Tech. A member of the Nigerian Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. I'm a member of the Nigerian Medicinal Plants Society. I'm also a fellow of the Integrated Business School. Why I needed to bring some of this info, and I'm a chartered food scientist, is to give you an idea of what we want to discuss now. The topic before me is the identity of the SLT graduate and his role. The theme of the program is who am I, or who am I, and what is my scope as an SLT graduate. So I now have to reframe it as the identity of the SLT graduate and his or her role. I will try to share my screen, but if it's not possible, you will just follow me later. The paper will be sent to you because I'm having a challenge trying to do so, but I will try and see if it will come up. So, but just follow me. The world we live in today is so complex, sophisticated, and competitive, where value is on entrepreneurial impact and integrity. As such, to be relevant in this kind of world, one must understand two important things. The first one is you must understand your identity. And then the second one is your role, the specific responsibilities attached to your identity. Having said that, I also want to drive. Identity defines the sense of who you are. It precedes one's action. It is actually the distinguishing character of a person, people, and discipline, as the case may be. So if you want to know who is actually an SLT person, is the identity. A lot of people have studied SLT, some don't even know the identity. And that's where the trouble comes from. So, but I trust God that as we share together, we'll be able to drive something. The three common dangers of people knowing their identity. There are three common mistakes people make. When you don't understand your identity, especially like as an SLT graduate, there will be instability. You will not know which one to be or which one to act. The second one is that you'll be living a life of pretense. If you don't understand your identity, you'll be living a life of pretense. The third one is that you'll be myopic in your display. You don't think far. So that's why this discourse is very, very important. So I move now. Who is the SLT graduate? Who is the SLT graduate? The SLT graduate is a person that is uniquely trained professionally, either as a technologist, if you go through the Polytechnic, or a scientist, if you go through the university, in an SLT specialty. The person is certified, the person is licensed by Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology for good laboratory practice. The license dictates the professional status. That's why you see some people finish SLT years back. They don't have license, and that should change them. So they have to write exam now. The SLT graduate, he or she is trained as a research midwife for scientific work on the lab bench, both wet and dry. I've just displayed some different kinds of laboratories as you see up there. So both hot, wet, and dry. He is also trained in such a way that he is actually going to manage postulations. Postulations are thoughts. They are thinkings that people have. So it's in the lab. It's just like when you see a doctor. A gynecologist cannot do without a midwife, because the midwife is actually the structural person for the work and the delivery. The same way too, no researcher can do well without the bench, the lab. So the SLT person, graduate, is trained for that. Postulations, observations, discoveries, verifications, certifications, inventions, and innovation. Now, that's what the SLT graduate is trained. So you see the uniqueness. He or she, by the license, is to ensure competence, quality assurance, making him or her a steward to drive compliance with regulatory standards and best practices in laboratory operation. Now, these are the things that the SLT graduate stands for. And if you understand it, I'm sure you are with me, oh, yes. If you understand it, you discover that you're already building yourself. Like I studied chemistry, biochemistry, and I have worked in food industry, I have worked in pharmaceutical industry, I have worked in chemical-based industry. Now, all these things, you need to understand it. Several years ago, when I came for youth service, 1997, I was posted to a lab. I was posted to a lab with somebody that read chemistry. Please mute yourself, oh, please. I was posted to a lab.
Please mute yourself. Please, if you are not talking, mute yourself.
I was posted to a lab with somebody that read chemistry. Even though I read biochemistry, we were in a water plant. But you know what? I could do those things than him. There are some things he has not seen. But my training as a laboratory technologist, as an SLT graduate, I was able to do most of those things. And some of them I've not seen them, but because of my training, is inherent there. And those are the things. I ended up being his head. Now, these are things. Now, if you understand your training, then your roles will become very easy. The role of SLT graduate. The SLT graduate is empowered by NIST Act 12, 2003. There is an act. An act is the law enactment that make the SLT a professional. That's why the license is very critical. So if you study SLT without a license, you are a quack, even if you have distinction. Part 3, Section 11A, enables the SLT graduate to practice for all purposes in the lab based on your specialties. That means that the SLT graduate is the steward of the lab. This law, with standing order that governs the scope of practice, which is multifaceted. That's why the SLT graduate, even if you do farm physio, if you come to a lab, you are going to be the manager of the lab. That somebody read BSc chemistry or BSc biochemistry is the man that had SLT in farm physio that should be the manager of the lab, even though that lab is a chemistry lab, because he is licensed to manage the lab. You need to understand those things. So that's that side of the multifacetedness, because some of us can find ourselves in different places. Like I'm in the pharmacy school now. I am, as it were, a biochemist, but I'm in the chemistry lab. I'm in pharmaceutical chemistry. But you know what? When I came in, they stepped aside. There was somebody that even had chemistry. But the HOD made me to be the head of the lab. And he said that he knows that I'll be able to understand the structure of the lab than the other person that had BSc in chemistry. Now, these are the truth. Now, that role is for all purpose, because that's what I'm trying to define. Means that the SLT graduate, without any limitation or restriction, depending on specialty, can work in any of the following places. Now, look at those places I listed. Please help me with this, the slide. Mr. Ben, you can change it for me. Now, the following places that the SLT graduate can work. The first one is clinical test lab. What we call clinical test lab is there are SLT graduates that are clinicians, those that did farm physio, those that did histology, cytology, even virology. You see, all these SLT-based people, they're in the clinic. They are supposed to do those works. Because when they talk about clinical trials, you start with animals before you go to human being. It's the SLT person that will start it. Do you see why MLS is limited? But you see, most of us are myopic, that you don't see that you are the custodian. Without you, there is no drug that will come out in the market. There is no food that will come out without the clinical trial that you start with the albino rats or the rabbits or so on, even monkeys. The SLT graduate can work in research and development. They can work there. They can work in education and teaching labs, like those of us in school now. That's education and teaching lab. Quality control and quality assurance lab. I have worked in food industry as the production manager and the quality assurance. Industrial labs, any industrial lab. You see those that in physics, you know, all these ICT, this thing, they are labs. Before the engineers will even step in, the labs that they have, where they do the micro work. The physics electronic person mans it. Biotechnology lab, molecular biology, all of them. Diagnostic lab. So you now see that that's why the SLT person, because both the rabbit, the rat, they are mammalian. So if you understand that, to do human tests is not a difficult thing. Because when we say diagnostics, because I even do it in my PhD work, I did diagnostics. The same, I did blood sugar, I did lipid profile, I did protein profile, okay? I did electrolyte for my rats after feeding them, because I'm a nutritionist, nutrition toxicology. They can work in reference lab. We have some of our people in the reference lab, in military detachments and different places. There are different reference labs where they try to check different parameters and you check standards. They can work as consultant and advisory. There's one of us here that is going to speak to us, Dr. Sebastian. I'm sure he's going to be talking some things on that. So consultancy, advisory role. I consult for NAFDAC once in a while. It has not, because of I am involved in procurement. So I have manned and installed laboratories. Then lab managers and administration, management and administration. So there are several things. See, the SLT person is not a redundant person, if you understand your identity. Pharmaceutical labs, ministry labs. There are laboratories in ministries. Ministry of Health, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of this, Ministry of Agri. There are laboratories that are there. Military, paramilitary. We have started carrying our advocacy. Earlier this year, I went to see the CDS. We went as National Executive Council, and we met the CDS, the various generals in the military, and I discovered they have a research lab. And we have started a negotiation with them. The civil defense, we went to them, we had a meeting. In fact, very soon you are going to hear, because the Abuja branch has started. Now the Comptroller General is going to spread it across the state, because we told them that the ballistic lab, the SLT people, now all the SLT people, we harvested more than 35 of them from the headquarters. And we have formed a branch in the headquarter office. And we told them that the ballistic lab, because what they do is bunkering and all those things. So if they, how do you know bad oil from real oil? It's the lab. And any other related activity, just to mention but a few. Now, the laboratory technology profession. The laboratory technology profession, next slide, is a profession that is applicable, relevant in healthcare, in industry, in research, agriculture, academics, pharmaceutical, and other related areas. Medical lab science can not limit the role of laboratory technology in clinical and medical lab. And that's the truth. Go and ask those that know their rights. They cannot talk them down. But you have to. You see, each profession have their regulatory body. If you understand the regulatory body, it helps you to stand effectively. Where they can never call you quackery if your lab is registered with NISLT, because you have license. We have a seal. So your lab can stand in for product development and product registration when you have the seal. And these are things that you need to know about the profession. Quite a lot. The other day I went to Federal Poly Owana. I saw waste bin. I said, look, I challenged the SLT lecturers and I challenged the technology. I said, we can convert this to usable things and it will become a business for them. And I tell you, that's the truth. The other day I came to Okopoli. I even told, I said, pack those rubbish that are in that place. If you don't know what to do, put it down. Told one of the management team that allow it. I'm sure that the SLT people, they will translate it, provided you bring money. This waste you are seeing to become a useful thing, useful resource. Because it's in the lab you can think out a lot of things. Now the basic question is how the SLT graduate should behave. You see, if you know your onions, to peel it and cook well will not be a problem. So how will you behave? Number one, next slide, the SLT graduates need to be enthusiastic and excited. You see, only what you appreciate, you can attract. Only what you are happy about, you can push. If you are not happy about the profession, you will not be. Sometimes I say, are sitting down. Yes, sometimes I don't blame some of us. What you don't know is bigger than you. But when awareness comes, you discover that people can do better. There are quite a lot of things that you can do. We started advocacy recently, going around and making different. I know how many people that have gotten jobs. Recently now we have signed an MOU with Standard Organization. And some of our people are partnering with them, especially those that read physics, because it's about measurement. If you don't blow your trumpet, nobody will blow it for you. My vice chancellor will always tell us that. So you need to be enthusiastic. Number two, you need to be pragmatic. To be pragmatic means to deal with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical consideration. In other words, pragmatic means that you are always looking at the implication so that people can infer from it. So you draw out things that will provoke people's mind. And that's the thing. So in other words, for you to be pragmatic, you need to be sensible. You need to be grounded. You need to be practicable. That's why we do GLT courses. That's why they take us through some of those rigor, and all those things. Those that understand it, they are not bench warmers. They are effective. Number three, you need to be teachable and open to learning and new ideas. Things are happening every day. I can learn from those in HND1. It doesn't matter. PhD is not the reference. There are things. Then you need to think and act professionally. So how do we think and act professionally? If this course is a professional course, then every professional course is guided by a standards. There are protocols. That's why when you come to a lab, there are three things they look for when you come to the lab. The first one is the lab policy. Every lab has a policy. Good lab. The policy is the management structure of how things flow administratively. Then the next thing is the lab protocol. The lab protocol is now the instrumentality of how personnel are positioned so that they can work. Then the third one is procedure. That's where SOP on how you can use things go. So you see, if you understand SLT, we can organize somebody's life. We have seen it happen. We have seen it happen. When I came to pharmacy, I've not been in pharmaceutical chemistry before. They just carried the manual and dropped in my bench, in my table. And anything I like, because this pharmacy school just started. The person I met said that she doesn't know, she's managing to know. That's why I started studying it. But within a couple, I started rearranging the papers. Number four, be progressive and positive. A progressive mind is always looking for new ways. It's looking for how can this thing work. Not negative mindset. You need to be positive. The SLT graduates should be open to good partnering and network. I tell you, you see, like begets like. Good partnering and network. If you open up, you will see people. You will see the right people come your way. And I tell you, that's the truth. That's the truth. Every day I come into contact, maybe every month, I must see one useful SLT person. Both the one I will mentor and the one I will learn from. It has been happening. That's how it goes. Even when I have not joined the academic system. And that's what kept me. At a point, I was not in SLT, even in practicing science. For 10 years, I went into theology. I had a degree in theology. And I went into mission field. But one of the things that I didn't do is that I kept renewing my license, even while I was in the mission field. So I was not out of space. If I had chance, I would attend conferences, both SLT based, biochemistry based, chemistry based, and like that. It kept me fresh. So when I now came to join academics, I didn't look like somebody that is frustrated and empty. My mind was blowing because there was networking. The friends were there. The SLT person, your behavior, you must be considerate and tolerant. Sometimes there are some things that will press you, or there is somebody that you can just overpower, but you need to consider the person so that you can help. It's just like this symposium we are having now. We are doing it because we want together we can do more. If more people are built in their awareness and in the knowledge of the profession, we can do more. Two are better than one. So there is no need holding my knowledge. The SLT person need to be outspoken and bold. Don't allow anybody rubbish you. Of course, if you know your worth and you understand your identity, nobody can rubbish you. And that's the truth. Right from the time I was an undergraduate, you know, this trouble of MLS, nothing. I did an IT in the hospital. I, I, I understood the principle more than them. So they were using me more to even do all the blood collection, sample collections, and all those things. But I know where I belong. So if you know it, you won't be frustrated. It's not that most people, they just sit down, all you are saying the hospital, saying the hospital, saying the hospital. And what you are saying in the hospital, you are going to fight the MLS person or meet him in his own little space. They have only one small space. So if you come, it's just like a dog. Now you are coming, the dog will harass you. But if you know and you understand, and the dog also know that this person pass up, the dog will swag the tail around you and play around you. The SLT graduates should be ready and open for evaluation, review, evaluation. Because a man that is not open for evaluation cannot be accountable. And those are the things. Assessment. That's why even in the institution, they do what they call appraisal. The SLT person needs to be wise. What I mean by being wise is that, you see, there's what they call innovative reaction. Any man that wants a change and want to advance, you don't keep doing, if you keep doing the same thing and you're wanting a change, you won't see any result. There must be a unique way. And I tell you that's why if they give you a manual in the lab, like I tell people, I said, if you just be reading the manual like that and all those things, you will miss road, because each lab, there is a way it is grafted. There are one or two improvise that could come along the way. So if you are not innovative, you will conclude that you can't do it in your lab. But you can. And that's the truth. There was one work, myself and Mr. Ben, we were just thinking, how do we do this protein now? There is no gender apparatus, there is no this thing. We now remember, we have this UV. We can go into biuret test. And we did it. Do you know what? The result was bam. We just sat down there and look at the things and like that. So that's what we are saying about this thing. So I just hope that, this is a poser discussion, that you'll be able to, you have caught something. And I wrote down some resolve. Please just put that in. The resolve that is there, which I'm sure it will flow through all other discussion, is what new thing, that's number one, have you learned? The paper will be made available so that you can look through it. Is there any new thing you have learned about you as a graduate of SLT? What is the new consideration that is occupying your thoughts now? I want you to write it down. What do you think you will want to do differently? What is or are your fears? Write it down. I have my own fears. Especially for some of us that did combine honor. If you don't balance very well, you will be confused. I did chemistry, biochemistry. At a point, I had powerful strength in chemistry. Then I check again, I had strength in biochemistry. So I kept thinking, which one will I do and all those things. But I gathered my strength together. And that's why I have a master's in biochemistry. I have also a master's in chemistry. But my mind balanced that go biochemistry, because my area of interest is toxicology and nutrition. So biochemistry will give me the base. But I had those fears. Initially, I didn't grab the pathways too well. So it was giving me fear. So it tilted me towards chemistry. But I discovered that as I started appreciating life, I started understanding the pathways. Then, of course, any suggestion for advancement, it is our profession. You can bring it. You can bring it. As I conclude, there's something I wrote there. Please, the last slide. I said, you need to know that knowledge is power, but wisdom gives inheritance that leads to influence and relevance. What that one means is that wisdom is the right application of knowledge. If you don't apply what you know rightly, you cannot make impacts. You cannot grab understanding. You cannot translate the things that you know in your mind realm to your heart so that you can become the owner of that mastery of that thing. And that's the thing. A lot of people did SLT, but it is hanging in their mind. It has not come into their heart. So there is no mastery. So if they shake you, you say, I don't even know where I stand. But I am sure that with this little sharing, somebody will be making a rethink and to look ahead. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Mr. Ahmed,
Very
I
much,
think I am done. I
everyone.
hope.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Really are.
We are happy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much, sir.
Yes, we thank God.
I believe
Coco, please.
you are already preparing your mind to become like him because he told you he has 2 master's degree. He's a doctor now. And that is to show you that
I
SLT graduates are
swear.
not failures. I know some of us think that as an SLT graduate and someone who graduated from Polytechnic, that means that you cannot make it in life, you cannot really.
Please mute your call. Mute your call. Let's hear only from
Please
Mr.
mute your
Benjamin.
call, mute your
You
call.
guys should mute your.
So, but this is to show you that we have pillars, we have great men and women in this profession, SLT. I want to assure you that you can achieve your dream as an SLT graduate. So don't begin to feel, I made mistake, I entered SLT, this one, you begin to sorrow. No, you can achieve your dream. Now, I want to call on the second speaker, and the second speaker is also a doctor. And let me just tell you a little, he has 3 PhD, and maybe when he comes up, he will tell you more about himself. And he's also an SLT graduate. He graduated from this same profession and has 3 PhDs. And I don't know about the master. So when he comes up, he will tell us more. Please, doctor, I would like you to share your experience with us so that we, the younger generation, we know that we have people in this profession that have actually made it, people that have actually achieved, great things through this profession. I want to call on our doctor, Dr. Obiora Ibeme. Please, doctor, please, can you talk to our people?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Hello, good
sir. You
evening.
are
Good evening,
welcome.
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Wow,
Good evening. You're
thank
welcome,
you, my
sir.
wonderful people. Well,
You're
my
welcome.
name
Good
is.
evening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good evening,
Well,
sir.
Welcome.
first I must thank. Thank you, there. First, I must thank Ben for this wonderful opportunity to bring all the young lads together. To expose them to what SLT holds, what the future holds for them through SLT. Well, like I said, my name is Obiora Sebastian Iweme. I was a graduate of SLT in 2000, and my specialization first was pharmacology and physiology. Then I also majored again in SLT, microbiology, virology. So I have 2 specializations in SLT. That was how I love the profession so dearly. Then when you talk about the doctorate degree, I have a PhD in health policy and health system research from African Institute of Health Policy, Ebonyi State, and it's in conjunction with World Health Organization, a program that is solely sponsored by the World Bank to foster health policy in the universe. Then I also have PhD in, I also have PhD in education policy and technology. I have a Doctor of Science degree in health administration and management from AT Still University, Arizona, USA. Actually, the program was a conversion program where I am saddled with responsibility of overseeing hospital administration globally. So, and I also have a PhD in toxicology too. Actually, hematoxicology. Then a lot of masters. I have masters in global health management from University of Washington. I have master's degree in education technology from Open University. Masters in peace and conflict resolution from Open University. I have masters in health policy, advocacy, and health system research. I have masters in therapeutic. I have masters of public health. That's MPH in public health and administration and management. Then I also hold a postgraduate diploma in HIV education and management, postgraduate diploma in pharmacology and therapeutic. So, and a lot of other qualifications. Then, when it comes to fellowship, I am, of course, a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology. I'm also a fellow of Institute of Science and Tech, London. I'm a fellow of International Chartered Institute of Research and Technology and Scientists, TICAT, Germany. I'm a fellow of Scotland Institute of Research Science, Scotland. I'm a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Corporate Administrator. I'm a fellow of Safety Pharmacology Society, USA, SPSS. I'm also a member of Public Analysts of Nigeria, MEPAN. I'm a member of International Union of Pharmacology, IFA. I'm a member of West African Society of Pharmacology, WASP. I'm an associate fellow of Peace Movement Initiative, London. I'm a member of African Network on Creativity, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. I'm a member of Global Network on Creativity, USA. And I'm also a member of Global Initiative on Neglected Tropical Diseases in Africa. Then finally, I'm a member of World Health Society for Advanced Health Policy and Health System Research. Well, this is a society of World Health. Then when it comes to work, I want to talk to us about consultancy, how we can build ourselves to become consultants in various fields. When you look at this and many more qualifications, the foundation of all these qualifications is SLT. The foundation of all these qualifications is SLT. I started with SLT. I'm still with SLT, and I'm still going forward with SLT. So in everything I do, SLT forms the background. I hope we're together. Are we together?
Yes, sir. We are
Yes,
together.
sir.
Yes. Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now, I will tell you a little story of how I became a health policy consultant for WHO. You see, when I graduated from SLT, a lot of people thought there's no prospects. I picked my phone, then called one or two persons. Then it wasn't even a mobile phone. Then it was sort of landline. So I called somebody in Shetraco. Shetraco is a kind of science and technology innovation center in Abuja. So I called him and I told him, what does this profession hold for me? he smiled and told me, do I know somebody named Eke Mezia? Eke Mezia was my chemistry teacher in UNN. You know, he taught me. He's also a graduate of SLT. So he directed me to him. And Eke Mezia was the person that manufactured the famous Ogunigwe. That's the bomb used during Biafra. And he was SLT graduate. So when I met Eke Mezia, he told me a lot about SLT and told me how the program is underutilized. Then he now asked me one pertinent question. He said, between science and medicine, which one is older? I was a bit confused. He now asked me again, between science and invention, which one gives birth to the other? He said I should take my time to answer his question. So I took my time, thought about it, and I told him that, of course, that a philosopher once said that science is mother of all invention, right? He now said, okay, what are you studying? I said, science laboratory technology. He now said, all invention must come from science lab, right? I said, yes. He now told me that I am just the key to my success. That if I decide to throw the key away, I will remain dormant. But if I decide to use that key to unlock as many doors of success as I wish to, that it all depends on me. That this thing is just me that is holding myself. That if I want to move 100 kilometers, all I need to do is just to put a step forward. So I thought about that. And I said, okay, I'd want to be a WHO consultant. And I looked at the requirements. One, the requirements is that you must have a degree in either public health or thereabouts. But then I wasn't that much inclined in what public health is all about. So I studied, looked at it, and I didn't have a degree in community health. But there's a program ongoing then. It's called the HIV Education and Management Program. It's a postgraduate diploma program. So what I now did was I enrolled in that program. After that program now gave birth to me enrolling in a master's in public health. Then that master's in public health now gave birth to me gaining admission in the United States of America to study a doctorate degree admission to study health development, health management, and administration. So that was how I got my first degree, my first doctorate degree. And that degree now helped me to supersede every other one. Then I still came down, did, of course, I have a bias in pharmacology and physiology. I also developed that. Then I now said, all this, how can I be a WHO consultant when I don't know much about diagnosis and health check, viral loads, and the rest of it? I went back. I said, why must I even go to other professions to learn it when I know that SLT has an option called microbiology virology? So I went back again and I studied microbiology virology in SLT. That was how I now became a guru in every medical diagnosis and all this thing. In fact, I now also became a virologist by virtue of studying SLT. So, and with that, I continue to grow. I have passion for studying. My target is that I want to have PhD, at least PhD in all the field. I know I've had one in policy, I've had one in education, I've had one in conflict management, and conflict management, resolution. So, what stopped me from also having one in agriculture and other, you know? So now I also consult, like for example, I consult for my state. I'm the UNESCO consultant for my state, and other consultant. I'm also consultant for Fortisol. Fortisol is the federal government science, technology acquisition, and innovation center for the less educated in the country. It's a new arm of a new parastatal in the Ministry of Science. It was just created about 4 months ago. So we are there. So made a consultant for that. So what am I trying to tell you? You are the key to unveiling the successes that is within you. People will tell you that if you don't study MedLab and you are not this, you are not that, where will SLT lead you? But I can tell you that if truly you believe that science is the mother of all invention, and invention is a product from the laboratory. Invention comes from research and innovation, and science laboratory technology cuts across all areas of research. So why can't you look at that which you want to be and get a corner in your heart and in your place, in the study areas, in this university, fit your that which you want to serve the future. So you don't have to limit yourself. If you're an SLT, you don't have to be lazy. At least I know for the past since 2012, I've been a member of the NUC accreditation, likewise MBT. So all this were things were reward I got from studying SLT. So today I can tell you there's nowhere Dr. Obiora Ibrahim drops his CV that nobody turns around to look. There's nowhere. I've contested a lot of things. In fact, there's no directorate now in the country that they say they will advertise for anything directorate that has to do with science and technology that I don't apply. And not just that I don't apply, I must be shortlisted. Sometimes because of the Nigerian politics, they may not want to go for the best. But I tell you that the distance between you and becoming a consultant in your field is just you developing yourself, and sky will be your starting point and not your limit. I hope I'm talking to someone.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
now, how many of you would want to go for? How many of you would want to be a consultant in your various field?
Me, sir.
Me, sir.
Me, sir.
Me, sir.
Hi,
I
sir.
want to everybody
Want
wants to
to
be a
do like
consultant.
you.
So,
So,
Amazing.
I want
I
to be
wouldn't.
like you, God. Ah,
Okay, I wouldn't want to bore you with the financial benefit. I wouldn't want to bore you with the financial benefit because if I should tell you the financial benefit of being a WHO consultant, a USAID consultant, or a UNESCO consultant, maybe some of you will now decide I don't want to finish this school again. I want to be a consultant. All you need to do first is get yourself a good grade. If you get yourself a good grade, you are 50% into achieving what you want. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, sir.
So I can assure you that the space for SLT students is just 20% filled. It's not even up to 20% filled. The space. Okay, I consult for various universities. I can tell you that there's no university that tends to set up a pharmacology department or a pharmacy department, especially within the southeast, that I wouldn't be contacted. This is because I've distinguished myself in my field. And most of the time when we finish setting it up, we find it difficult to employ people that will take over from us. Because most people that studied SLT, because of the lackadaisical or uninterested attitude of students of SLT, they are not well equipped. They don't even know how to equip themselves. So most of the time when they come for employment, you discover that the person is lacking in knowledge of laboratory administration and management. So how do you employ the person? What distinguishes us from the normal person that just studied microbiology, and you studied the making of the person that studied microbiology? You are meant to mentor the person in terms of research and otherwise. So you are more productive, you should be more productive than the conventional graduate. This what I always tell SLT is that they should think out of the box. That is our core value. We are not meant to think within the box. We are meant to think out of the box. And thinking out of the box is being creative, being innovative. I could remember when my current governor set up a team on how we are going to grow the state. We said that let us adopt what we call disruptive innovation. That is doing what nobody can do. And how are you going to do that? You must be an ardent laboratory researcher. And if you are an ardent laboratory researcher without science base, then you are nowhere. So if you must succeed, you must be an ardent science laboratory researcher. And who are the science laboratory researchers? You. You are the one that will think out of the box, be creative. And another thing you also have to think within yourself is you are a research designer. You design researches for people to implement. That's also what I do. I design researches for people. I started doing that even while I was still an undergraduate as a science laboratory technology student. So you have to work, you have to think, you have to move, and you have to implement if you must succeed. There's a lot of space. You go to a lot of school because we are not living up to expectation. They bring people that are not there, that are not qualified to be in the lab. Do you know how many research labs we have in this country? Do you know that we've not even tapped 1/10 of what the Act says? Do you know that you're supposed to be in every airport to regulate the import of narcotic and every other thing? Do you know that we are meant to take up the Nigerian Drug Law and Enforcement Agency lab as regulator? Do you know that you have to, all those reagents and laboratory reagents, hospital reagents and the rest of them that are being imported, do you know that very soon your license will be required to do those importations? These are just gradual processes. Do you know that that person selling laboratory reagent or hospital reagents needs your license to back him up? All these things are the gradual processes that our NGS and the leadership of the institute are gradually, fixing. And I'm sure by the time they fix it, you will be the hottest cake in the nation.
Amen.
So don't be swayed. Don't be distracted. Come out, best flying colors, and go into the future and explore. So, because you are a laboratory researcher and technologist. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Wish to be like you. Thank
I swear, we used to be
you,
like
sir.
him.
Good
Ah,
morning.
God,
Good
I beg.
morning.
Thank you, sir.
Wish
Oh, wish to be like you.
to be like you, sir. Thank you so much.
Seriously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So Ben, I'm done.
Mr. Ben, where are you now? I'm Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Saab. We appreciate you, sir. Mr. Ben, if you're around, please, you can unmute yourself and continue. Okay. In the absence of Mr. Ben, I'll quickly let me hold in.
I think from the agenda of the meeting, now it's time for question and answers. Thank you.
Okay, if you have any questions for the speakers, you can actually ask and we will attend to them.
Last time.
Go ahead.
I mean, issues or any. I'm in a room with you. Okay, can I
Mute
win?
your mic. Mute your mic.
Okay, people mute your mic.
Some people seem to
Mute your
mute their
mic.
some people.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is this. Me, I graduated 2009 SLT. Then along the line,
Yeah, hello.
I diverted into nursing. Now I'm a nurse. But I got to understand something. Mr. Ben enlightened me on some of the things and the opportunities available as an SLT graduate because I still run some routine tests in my clinic. I do it by myself. When I graduated, I worked with one private lab. When I got there, when they are doing the interview, they were telling me, you are not this, you are not that, you are not this, you are not that. I was waiting for the CEO, the chairman of the lab. So when the doctor man came, he asked me what gave me the audacity. I simply told him that I read science lab tech, and those people read medical lab science. That science, to my own understanding, is the one that gave birth to medical whatever. That was how I got the job. So I worked there for like 5 years, after which I studied nursing. I went to nursing school. But now there is a course that someone told me about. It's about pharmaceutical something. I can't really remember, but that thing, when you do that thing, you can work in a pharmaceutical lab. So my question now is, as an SLT graduate, if after getting this license, can I just open my own private lab with just the license, or do I still need to further, maybe like do masters in pharmacy, this or that, something like that? That is my question. Or with the license alone, can I just open a mini lab so that I don't have to hire another person? Thank you very much.
All right, maybe let me start. Okay, Mr. Ben, you have come up.
Yes. Okay, it's like you have something question and answer. That is good and fine. So please, you can go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Ogochukwu, I'm going to say some things, and I'm sure Dr. Igbeme is going to also add to it. The first one is that you have graduated as an SLT graduate. And every SLT graduate, if you graduate well, you are supposed to have your license. They call it your practicing license. A lawyer that went to school and go to attend law school becomes a barrister. But there is something about the school and the field. If you, from the way you gave your narrative, you discover that you see, you don't just finish and jump into starting a lab. You need mentoring. If you prepare yourself, you will do mentoring. You see, lawyers will finish, they have a principal that you are going to work under. Even if it's 3 months, even if it's 1 year, even if it's 5 years, depending on your ability to develop yourself and all those things. So that gives you an age. So that is number one, okay? You can start a lab, but you need to understand what you want to do. Like we are talking about these issues of competence and compliance. Like you have been in nursing now for some time now. You have been doing some things, you just run your lab and do some things. Now, you know, if you are running a medical lab, one person don't run a medical lab. It's a network of people. I can read ChemPath, even though I know how to do MCB and all those things. You are going to also liaise with some others. So there is a network of colleagues that are there. But the first thing is that you need mentoring. You are already in nursing and want to know what is your flare of interest. Because this world is big. If you listen to Dr. Ibeme, when he was talking, his interest was on the health sector, on management and administration, and how he can use his SLT base to run the structure of that thing. So there are different aspects. Somebody can just come, all he's interested in is to consult for drug sales, for reagent sales, and all those things. So you need to come to, that's why you go for mentoring. Like you graduated since 2009 and all those things. So there are some disconnects that need to be tidied up. It will not help you and all those things. That's why I'm talking. You need to understand what is already coming to your heart and all those things. Because if you jump into doing something just like that, because some people just jump in and at the middle you are confused. But if you have proper tutelage, you discover that you can advance the course. So that's where you can now come and network with somebody so that you can gain some understanding on how to do the practice of the profession. Because there is profession, there is professionalism. And it's professionalism that shows you how to run the profession so that you will not be a quack. So that's down. So the first thing I will encourage you to do is you need a mentor. You need to come for mentoring. Like he asked the question, how many people want to be a consultant? Some people have started calculating the money they are going to make. Before the money, come down first so that you can be guided. And I'm sure if you want to be, there are mentors that are on ground here. There are 1 or 2 other persons that are here that can guide you so that you can know the exact area of the laboratory process that you want to get involved in. Let me stop here. Dr. Egbemi or Mr. Ahmed, you can also talk. I hope we are all together. Oh.
Yes.
Yes. Doc,
Yes,
are you there, Doc?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm
Yes,
with you.
Dr. Igbeme, are you
sir.
there?
We are with you, sir.
I'm with
Yes, sir.
you.
Okay, sir.
I'm
Do you
with
have
you.
any? Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Do you have any contribution?
Yes. Thank you, my NGS. Though you've done noble to the question. What I will tell her is this. You see, some of us, some of us own research labs. Some of us own research labs, and that's part of the regulation the Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory is doing. You know, it all depends on what you want to achieve through establishment of the laboratory. Um, for example, if you want to go into medical research, you are very free to open your lab and do whatever you want to do to get results, test results, right? And if you want to open diagnostic lab, uh, diagnostic lab, medical diagnostic lab, that doesn't fall within the jurisdiction. But if you want to work in a medical diagnostic lab, you are qualified. But the licensing of medical diagnostic lab doesn't fall within our jurisdiction. So that's just what I want to verify. But any other medical research lab, you can open that. It falls within the jurisdiction of SLT. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Any other question?
I have a
Good
question,
evening,
please.
Mr. Ben.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My question is, I am like Dr. Bridget said, we all need mentorship or mentoring. Like me, I'm interested in getting that mentorship. And I based in Abuja. I'm also a graduate of SLT 210. Like I said something about getting a license, that when you graduate, you get a license. Though I attended a polytechnic, but we were not given a license. That aside. So, like me, I love anything that had to do with health. The health, studying about diseases, prevention, control, and all that. So, like for someone like me that needs a mentor and has interest in the health sector in SLT. So how do I go about it, and where do I really go to acquire this mentoring or get this mentorship, at least to build myself so that I can go into the health sector in SLT? Thank you.
All right, let
Okay.
me answer. Then Dr. Gbeme will continue. Then any other. What I want to say, my dear, the first one is that, when you hear health sector is a big place. Oh. Just like when we talk about SLT, some of those things I listed, they are big space. So for you to get mentoring, one of them is already starting here now. You see, when you hear people talk and they catch your attention, don't stop at the class. Follow them and ask more questions. That's the first leg to mentoring. Because there are some people, like I am now, I have more than 70 people under my ment. And I'm sure Dr. Igbeme has over 100. So, but the issue is not that every good teacher is looking for the student that is very attentive and ready to learn. So that's that one. The second issue is that I don't know your option, but we need to know your option so that you can also be guided. Because from different options, you can assess the health sector. As a biochemist, there is an aspect I'm going to assess the health sector. If I want to go into health, if I want to go into food. So there are different things. Like I told you, they clinician SLT base, like farm physio, histology, cytology, virology. Now, these key people, their work has to do with the animal life. Except those that develop themselves, they also do plant side of it. Now, what we are saying is that you need to now begin to, that's why the first base, that as is good now, you're saying that you want mentoring. You need to. But you need to, after identifying that, the second one is, it means that from what you are saying, you don't have a license since you finished. And we have a new law now in the institute that for you to acquire a license, you must write the professional exam. So you need to go and write it so that you have a license. SLT person that is without a license, number one, is a quack. Even if you have distinction, you graduated with distinction. So you must walk back to get your license. And now you must write exam. It's a refresher that will enable you. So that's that side. Then the second one is by the time we start talking, we'll be able to know. There are some things you are thinking about. By the time the mentoring session starts, you will discover that, oh, okay, this is the area. Then you'll be able to run them. However, the last thing I will say is that all your thoughts, begin to pen them down now. Whatever is bubbling in your heart, write them down. Don't assume them, write them down. So that when you have a mentor, when you connect with a mentor that is progressive, you want to see those things. Because what you write down helps you to gain mastery in what you are going to say. So from there now we can build up the other things that are right there. Then directions will come. Let me stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Very much.
Before doctor will speak, please, the person that asked the question, I would like to ask you. You graduated since 2010, right?
Yes, sir.
From Federal Polyoko.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. That means we are the same set. So like my NGS has said, you need a mentorship, and I think Dr. Ibeme will speak on that, and he will tell you more. I think it's closer to what you are looking for. Please, doctor, I would like you to help her. Speak. Talk to her, please, if there's any advice.
Okay. Just like the NGS told you, health sector, we have different branches. We have diagnostic, we have drug intervention, clinical trials, we have health policy, we have health administration, and just think about them. I have a lot. So for me, I chose the two most superior branch in health sector, and that is health administration and health policy. You see, even if you're a medical doctor, there must be a policy that will guide what you do. So I now decide to be among those that will, draft that policy that will make you do the right thing. We have health ethics and management. We have health advocacy and intervention. Then all these things are under health policy and health administration and management. So now, in a developed world, the medical doctors, the pharmacists, the nurses are not head of the hospital. the hospital management and the day-to-day running of the hospital is by somebody that has a background in health management and administration. Where I studied health management and administration in Arizona multi-faceted health school. The school itself, everybody is just there. It's a revolving scheme, you know. It's a revolving, how would I put it? It's a revolving platform where the doctors, the nurses, the medical lab, the scientists, the physiotherapists, everybody sits at the table and the patient at the center, and they discuss the health of that patient. Then the administrator is just at the top to now collate everything and now know how best to give the patient, you know, the best of medical care. It's still the same thing in India. I've been to India, I've been to Budapest, I've been to a lot of Apollo Clinic in New Delhi. All those things, we've been there as consultants under WHO. So now, when you look at the areas, you will now think critically, which area do I think I want to belong? And after that, you will now know, how do I go about it? And that's where we'll come in. If you want to move from SLT to becoming health administrator, we can help you do that. If you want to move to becoming health advocate, we can help you do that. All these programs you see, all these health intervention programs you see, they are not being headed by medical doctors, most of them. In fact, 90% of them. You may even be surprised that social workers have more advantage than even medical doctors when it comes to health intervention. So, and when you now make your way, you will discover that you have more advantage than the social worker. That's why sometimes some of us now, the greatest challenge somebody like me has is time. It's time. I battle with time because there's no week. Okay, like the NGS will tell you people, just last week I came back from Rwanda. Now, what did we go to Rwanda? We went to Rwanda to actually partner and redesign and criticize their health model, healthcare delivery model. That's what we went there to do. Because currently in Africa and Asia, part of Asia, Rwanda has the best healthcare delivery model. It's an African country. So now the question is, how do we drive these things to other African nations and other developing countries? So I can tell you that among the team that went, I think it was just only one doctor that was among the team of 12 that went. So now after understanding those things, we will come back and tell them what to do. This is the current model. This is what you have to do. You understand? For healthcare system to work in Nigeria. So it all depends on what you want and how far you want to drive your goal. So if you choose the health sector, well, Ben is there, the NGS is there. We can organize a kind of mentorship subgroups, groups, and you will now find yourself under those mentorship clusters, so that we can be talking and guide some of you that are in health. If you want to go into research, food analysis, we can guide some of you there. Education, research, and technology. We also have mentors there. So I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Very well, sir. Appreciate. Very well. Thank you so much. So much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gweme, for this help you are giving us here. And I pray that we'll make this a kind of routine thing that we'll be doing with time, at interval. And if possible, we can extend this listen to other people that might be interested so that SLT graduates will know more about the profession. So at least some of us here are already catching the fire, catching the vision, and seeing our uh, able men who have told us their exploits through SLT. I believe we are penning down things already. We are planning how we are going to make our own exploits. Are going to do our own exploits. So thank you very much. Is there still any other question?
Yes, so I have questions.
How many questions? Okay. Let's just entertain the two or three questions and then we'll move to other things. Yes, the next person.
Please, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please, my question is this. The second speaker, when he was speaking, there are a lot of certification, qualification, and masters. So they are plenty. My question there is, I know that most of this certification we are gotten in Nigeria. So I want to plead, if some of this certification program comes up, if we can be directed on how to apply for them and school and get those certification. Because from what I understood from what he said, everything lands back in certification and license. So, sir, I'm pleading, though not a question, I'm pleading, if such opportunity comes up again, if you can bring up the notice to us so we can know how to go with them and acquire them. Thank you very much.
Sure. Most of them are open. Most of them are open. Like currently now, I know University of Washington have hello. I know that University of Washington has. Yeah, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm hearing you.
Like currently the 12 months program, masters in health development and advocacy of University of Washington is on. The application is on now, and normally the 12 months is you have 6 months here in Nigeria, 3 months internship, then 3 months evaluation in Washington. So that was how I also, when I got my in global health, that was also the process we took. So it's on. So if we have a group, once some of these programs comes up, we'll easily drop them there. So anybody that have the qualification and have the zeal and the finance to apply, can now do that. So I can assure you that if we have a kind of a platform for us to be sending those messages, we can still be doing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think before Doctor mentioned this, it came to my mind this evening that we need to have clusters. Like we have different options. Even though I have platforms for different options, but I will use it for tutorials for those that are preparing for their MPE exam. That is a mandatory professional exam for the license. But it came to my mind, if we could convert that to the clusters, we'll have the microbiology platform, we'll have the physics platform, we'll have the chemistry, we'll have the biochemistry. Then it came to my mind, if we can convert that to, the clusters for the different options where we are going to have different specialties separated to those clusters so that they'll be rubbing mind together, people of the same option, rubbing mind together, talking, sharing things together, and if there are opportunities, they share things together. So please, I will plead with some of us that are in those different platforms not to pull out after their professional exam. You are needed in that on that platform to guide and mentor the younger ones that will still join that platform, or those who might be interested in enrolling into the professional exam too, so that you will guide them well. And also, so I'm also thinking if that place can also be one of those clusters where we can also have our professionals come together to see how to help themselves. The elder ones, the more experienced ones, will guide the younger ones and drop any information that might be of help to them. So that is my own suggestion. But I'm thinking if that will be enough, if that will be okay for us, and that means we are going to expand it. It will not be only for professional exam alone, to be for other things like the mentorship now, and also it will be open for other people who are not SLT students from OCO, because though we have some persons there that are not from OCO, I know we have people from different states on that platform. I have people from Para, people from even Lagos that are on that MPE platform. So I think if we can use that, it will also be a good avenue for the mentorship. So maybe I will still see how to restructure that and bring that to play. So I think, Doctor, that is a good suggestion. Thank you very much for that suggestion. Yes, another question? Another question?
Yes, I think I have a question to ask.
Okay, please go ahead. Ask your question.
I noticed this thing in our statement of results as in those of HND graduates. Why is it that
Please speak up. Speak up. Hello, we can't hear you. It's like we've lost her.
I said
Any other
my
question?
question?
Hello, are you back? Is she back?
Maybe her network is disturbing her.
Okay. Let another person that have question. I think I say we'll have three this thing. So one person have asked, remaining two persons, so that we'll wrap up.
All right,
Any other
sir.
question?
Thank you very much for the teaching. Actually, the question that I have, you pointed it out now, because all these things that is being taught here, it will be better the way you said it, that we have different options whereby we focus on that aspect of our field and then go about the mentorship and other things. And the other question that I have is, for those of us that struggled so much to make good degree, but we are not able to get up to upper credit or distinction, and now came to lower credits. So, what is our fate in going further, going for further, maybe professional studies and other things, and that mentorship of a team? And like our sister said, I graduated 2020. It was when we were in camp that they did the induction, whereby they gave them the license before they now start saying something of writing exams. So how do we go about it? Thank you.
Okay, doctor, please can you give a answer her question? NGS, are you still there? It's like my NGS is not there again. Doc, Mr. Oyerebo, please, can you answer her question?
Sorry, I didn't hear her very well. I had a network glitch, so I skipped some of her message. Probably relate them to me.
Okay. Dr. Ibeme, can you answer her?
Yes, I heard her question clearly. Okay, now when you talk about the qualification you graduated with, you see, even with that grade, there are schools that admit postgraduate diploma, which is a bridge between what you have and what you intend to acquire. So you have to go outside your comfort zone. So any school that is making such offer, or even an upgrading, sometimes they do 1 year certificate upgrade or 1 year remedial program, you understand, for people in that category. You can go out of your way out of your comfort zone to enroll in such program, and that's why this cluster will help, because when we have such information, we normally post them to the platform so that anybody that is to benefit can now click to it and make the best out of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe he answered your question, right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. But the other aspect of getting the license.
The license.
Yes.
The only way to get a license now is by writing your professional exam, and when you pass, then you get your license. Are you a graduate or you are still in school?
I'm a graduate.
Okay. What year did you graduate?
2020.
2020. Okay. And you were not told about the professional exam that will be going on October?
No, I don't know about that.
You don't know about it?
Yes.
Okay. The first module will be written on October, this October. Definitely, I think that should be in 2 weeks' time or in a week time. That is October 15th and 16th. And Oko has a center now. So, but wherever you are, where do you base? We have different centers in different locations. So it depends on where you are. We can now tell you the center closer to you where you are going to sit and write the exam. But for this October diet, you're not going to write because the registration is already closed. But next year, April, May, the portal will be open again for a fresh registration. So I will advise you to enroll so that you write the exam. You are going to write module 1 by May, April, and then by October, the same next year, you will now write module 2. So when you pass module 1, you'll be qualified to write module 2. And when you pass module 2, then your license will be given to you. That is the way it is done now. Unlike before that, you just issue your license to you and you pay 25,000 naira. This time around, you write exam to really show that you can defend the license you are being given by the institute. So that is my kind advice to you. I hope you are clear now.
All right, thank you, sir. Can you help me with the requirements, maybe to prepare my mind towards that?
Okay. Are you in any of our mandatory professional exam platforms?
No.
Okay, so just private chat me. I will send you the link so that tell me your option so that you can join the option.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Any other question?
Good evening,
Yes, sir.
everyone. Hello, sir.
Yes, good evening. We can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, I have a question. Like, I want to ask, after getting our this NISLT license, after getting our license now, we go for any internship program. And the second question is, like, as an SLT graduate, like I studied microbiology under SLT, and if I want to do my PGD, which course, like, will I go for? Okay, so
Okay.
that's my question, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ahmed, did you hear her question? Mr. Ahmed, it's like his network is giving challenge. Okay, doctor, let me ask. Let me answer. Hello?
This question. This our question now. When I ask question, they answer the question that she
Okay.
asked me. The two doctors said that one needs mentorship, mentoring, so that they will guide you. And he says something that he will try to create a platform or subgroup. Let me use the word I use, subgroup, that we be talking about the mentorship. And again, it depends on your specialty and what you want. If she joined at the initial time, there was something they said that the resolution that you have to make as an SLT graduate, have to write down your fears, what new ideas that you want to do, how you will improve. So let her just jot it down. When they create the subgroup, they can now mentor her and direct her depending on her course. Some persons said here that somebody like me, I would like to go into pharmaceutical. Some person said the last person that asked question, or I can't remember, the one that said that she's based in Abuja, she said she's interested in health. So I think let her just write down whatever she wants and still wait. When they create the subgroup, she can still ask some questions because they have already answered this one. It depends on your area of interest. Thank you.
So the person that asked the question, are you clear now?
No, sir, I'm not clear now. Like, my first question was, like, after getting our license, if we go for any internship program.
Okay. Now, the internship program you are talking about is connected to what she just said now. What you need is mentorship. The way it is now, with our profession, we don't have any scheme or any special program we call internship. But the ALSTON, Association of Science Laboratory Technology of Nigeria, is working seriously to see how internship can be added into this profession. That as you are after your graduation, you will go for internship, 1 year internship under, if it's industry, if it's under health, if it's under different this thing, you will be sent for training, internship. But now the way you can be trained now is by mentorship, finding a place, finding someone, finding a lab, finding a research lab or health lab where you can attach yourself to be trained, to be groomed. So that is what you can do now. And
hello, Mr. Ben.
One thing
Hello.
again. Hello.
Can I answer her question?
Oh, I didn't know that Big Mom. I didn't know that Big Mom is here. Oh, Big Mommy, you're welcome.
Let me.
Hello.
Good evening.
Big
Hello.
Mommy, we are welcome. Please answer.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good
I want to thank you all for your time and everything. Yeah, thank you very much. I've been listening to all the speakers that have been speaking. But this particular question she asked, yes, she can go on to do her PGD even while she's working for the license. And then as a microbiologist, hello, I hope she's listening.
Yes,
She she can read medical microbiology, industrial microbiology, food microbiology. These are the options that are inside microbiology SLT as a course. So when you have to go further, it depends on you, whereby you want to. So if you go into medical, that is you're getting direct to health. And then if you go to food microbiology, you're getting into food microbiology. You can now, it can be industrial microbiology. These are various options you can harness in your PGD, master's or PhD. Do you understand? Do you get it now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
So
thank
you're
you very
clear,
much.
right?
Ma,
Please,
ma,
can
please, I
you
have
list
a
out?
question based on that. From what you just answered now, ma. No,
Hello.
ma.
Yeah, I'm
Ma,
hearing.
the question you just answered, as in getting on the, okay, like I graduated 2015, then I did my PhD under health, but I did it under human kinetics, health and safety. So for me to progress to my master's now, should I go to this any of this microbiology you mentioned? Though my option was biology, microbiology.
Yes, you can.
As in
You
going
can.
from okay.
If you want to do your master's on that, your kinetic, under health, you can go for your master's under medical. You can go for your master's under food or industrial microbiology.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, ma'am. Oh, thank you.
Please,
Yes.
Mama, I wanted to ask about biochemistry. The way you listed about microbiology, is it possible to list courses that you can go for if you want to do your PGD, if you're a biochemist?
I think NGS will be better equipped to answer that your question.
Okay,
I
as a
was
biochemist, then
yeah.
as a biochemist, we have this thing. The issue is that like in UNIZIK, biochemistry doesn't do PGT. But in Anambra State University, biochemistry do PGT. So if you're able to see or secure any of those universities where they do PGD, you can do your PGD under biochemistry. And then after that, you can proceed to do your master's.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So somebody was calling Mr. Benjamin. Yes.
Hello.
Can you talk to us?
Like in Ebonyi University, you can do PGD in biotechnology.
Okay, PGD in biotechnology. Hello? It's like we lost him. Yes, is there another question?
Yes, she can do PGD in biotechnology. She can do PGD in biochemistry as regards in Ebonyi University.
Okay.
And even she can still do PGD in chemistry department.
Okay.
In Ebonyi University.
Okay, thank you.
That is where I work.
Okay.
She can do PGD in biotechnology department. She can do PGD in biochemistry, chemistry departments. All these departments, they do PGD in those departments. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
If there's no other question, we'll go to AOB. Any other matter? AOB. And you are
I
here
have a
since we have been
question.
talking. Any other question? You kept quiet. Okay, I
My
think you will
network
be the
was
last
disturbing.
person. Oh, yeah, ask us your question.
Okay, I just graduated 2023. So when after my ND, I was opportune to work in a medical diagnostic center as for the 1 year IT, and I'm still working there due to we are yet to get our statement of result and all that, and the MPE exam. So I'm asking, after the professional exam and they give me my license, can I work under health in a medical diagnosis center? Like, can I open my own lab, or will I still work under a scientist?
Dr. Igweme, are you here? Please, can you answer her?
Let me help out here.
Can I come
Okay.
and attend?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you can while you are
She
there,
can,
you are you are leveraging the opportunity around you. That's number one. Because you get to know a whole lot of things you don't know before. Then when you gather all those experiences, if you want to establish a lab, yes, you can. But you have to first of all write to NIST, get NIST involved, get your whatever you needed, your space and the equipment that is needed to work in that lab. Then you write to NIST, they will now come for inspection. When NIST comes and inspects and certify you that they are satisfied with what you have there, they can now give you a seal that will make you reliable in that your office there. And again, if you're opening a lab, I don't know which field you are, your option, whether microbiology or whatever. But
I'm in
the advice
biology
there
slash
is,
microbiology.
eh?
I'm in biology slash microbiology, but for the exam, I'm under a microbiology.
It's okay. That is okay. So when you open a diagnostic lab, it is not only microbiology diagnosis that you do there. There are some others. So if you see another person, another option, maybe biochemistry, so that they will help in hematology and so many other tests that are being done in those labs. So you can now go up to another person. Do you understand that it's in another field? Except if you know you can do it or you have enough experience to handle it yourself, that's okay. But you needed somebody there too for another expertise, which you may not have gotten perfectly. So you can open your lab while NIST will come and certify it and then give you the license and the seal to have a lab. You're covered.
Okay, ma. Thank you. I appreciate.
Did you hear her very well? There is need for collaboration. Some of us,
yes,
so you need to collaborate with other people. Like when NGS was talking, he talked about need for collaboration. So that you don't have challenges. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think our time is fast spent. Or do we still have another person that have question? Let me give the grace. Okay.
So, Mr. Ben, let me just use this opportunity to appreciate all those my beautiful, blessed children there.
Okay.
It's not easy. It's very, very unfortunate. There's this Igbo adage that usually says that you make the haste while the sun shines. In those days, yes. In those days in the school, I will always talk about this induction. But most of them doesn't take it serious. They don't take it serious. And look at it now, they have to go, and even you too, so many of you there. So many of you, I used to say it, even from those of them that I taught in their first years in that polytechnic. I will always explain to them that maybe some of them didn't know that they have just entered into school to read a professional course. I used to tell them all those things. And then I told them the need for them to be able to help themselves while they are in school. In as much as their population will be big enough that most of the time, having them one-on-one may not be that easy, especially in the laboratories, but we manage through the ones we could in those days. But I always advise them. At the end, I'll talk and talk and talk. And after all said and done, it may just be 2 or 3 that will come still asking me, Mommy, what about this license? And I say, there's no way you can just be one person or two persons for the institute to come here